You know how they say you should keep your friends close and your enemies closer? Well, I made the mistake of trusting my HOA, a mistake that nearly cost me the most peaceful part of my life. That was until I turned the tables, with nothing but a few stakes, some steel fencing, and a well-timed phone call. Little did Karen, the self-appointed queen of our neighborhood, know that her little land grab would blow up in her face and her whole family would regret ever stepping foot near my lakefront. This isn't just a story about a fence. It's about entitlement, manipulation, and what happens when someone thinks they can take what's yours just because they want it. Buckle in, because when I say the ending is satisfying, oh, trust me, it slaps harder than HOA fines in the mail. I bought my dream property about 5 years ago, a modest but beautiful home with a slice of heaven, my own private access to a sparkling, quiet lake. It was the main reason I stretched my budget. I'm talking sunrise reflections, kayaking at dawn, barbecues with that gorgeous view. No boats zipping past, no noise, no strangers. It was secluded, calm, and mine. The lake wasn't public. It was bordered by only 4 homes, each with deeds clearly showing their lakefront property lines. Then came the HOA. Now, when I moved in, there was no HOA, just 4 homeowners who agreed to pitch in for road maintenance. 2 years in, 2 of the other homes were bought out, and that's when things started changing fast. One new neighbor, Karen, yes, literally her name, spearheaded the creation of a full HOA. Promises of community standards, beautification, and protecting property values. I was skeptical, but they pushed hard, and the third neighbor voted yes. That made me the odd man out. But thanks to some clause in the community agreement, which I later learned Karen had her attorney's son write up, the HOA passed with a 2-1 majority. Fine, whatever. I kept to myself, paid the minimal dues, but I never signed over any land, nor did the HOA have rights to adjust or rezone individual plots. Mine especially. My deed is ironclad. That lakefront was my responsibility, my property, and my joy. Things got weird around the start of summer last year. I started noticing random lawn chairs on my lakefront. Toys, umbrellas, even a grill one day. It looked like a public beach popped up out of nowhere. So I did what any normal person would do. I moved the stuff aside, cleaned up the trash, and left a polite but firm note on a laminated card that read, "Private property, please do not trespass." That weekend, I'm sipping coffee on my back deck when I hear screaming kids and loud music. I look over and there's a full-on birthday party happening. On my lakefront, balloons, inflatable floats, coolers, and Karen herself sipping a mimosa like she owned the place. I walk down and say, "Hey Karen, I think there's been a misunderstanding. This part of the lake is on my property." She gives me that smile. You know the one. That smug, passive-aggressive, I'm better than you smile. "Oh, don't be silly. This is all common space now. We voted last month to make the lakefront shared between HOA members." I blinked. "You voted to make my private land shared?" Karen nodded like she just told me the sky was blue. "It's in the new bylaws. I sent the memo. Since your property touches the lake and the HOA represents the neighborhood, we decided it's best for the community if it's accessible. It'll raise all our home values." That was when I knew this wasn't just a misunderstanding. This was war. I went inside, heart pounding, and pulled up every document I had. Title deed? Check. County zoning maps? Check. The original purchase agreement with GPS coordinates of the lot? Triple check. I even called my real estate lawyer, who remembered my exact situation because we joked about how lucky I was to snag lakefront property without an HOA back then. I explained everything to him. He laughed, not because it was funny, but because Karen's stunt was so illegal it bordered on delusional. "They can write all the bylaws they want," he said, "but they can't override a deed. That's a civil suit waiting to happen. For them." I asked what my options were. He suggested I build a physical barrier, something to demarcate the property and post clear signs. That way, if they kept trespassing, it became a legal matter, and I could press charges. Enter the fence. I hired a contractor the very next week. I put in a sleek, black steel fence with vertical bars, elegant but strong, 6 feet high with a locking gate facing my house and no access from the sides. I also posted multiple private property no trespassing signs, complete with legal codes and penalties. The fence extended into the shallow part of the lake, just far enough to make it clear this was not for public use. I even installed 2 security cameras, one facing the gate and another facing the lawn. Karen lost it. The day the fence went up, she came storming down like a hurricane in yoga pants. "You can't do this. It's community space. You're being selfish." I calmly handed her a copy of my deed. "Karen, this is mine, always has been. You and your family have been trespassing. This is your final warning." She tried to argue, saying the HOA voted, but I cut her off. "The HOA doesn't own my land. You never got an easement. You never purchased the land. You don't have rights here. Next time anyone steps over that fence, it's a police matter." She screamed about lawsuits and getting me removed from the HOA. I smiled. "I never agreed to be part of it, and you might want to check your paperwork because I opted out before it was formalized. You just assumed otherwise." Karen's family tried to sneak in twice after that. Once they tried climbing the fence, which triggered the security alarm and got caught on camera. The second time they approached the lake from a kayak, tried to tie up on my side, and were met with a very polite but firm visit from a sheriff's deputy after I handed over all the footage. Both times they were cited for trespassing. Karen tried to rally the HOA to fine me, but since I was never officially a member and the HOA didn't own my land, it backfired. Hard. In fact, I filed a formal complaint with the county, citing her false claims over my property. This triggered a zoning investigation. Turns out Karen had also been claiming common area access for another neighbor's driveway easement, and the county was not amused. She was slapped with fines for misrepresentation, and the HOA had to dissolve their common property clause or face a lawsuit from 2 homeowners, myself included. To top it all off, I found out Karen had used her niece's birthday party, the one they threw on my land, as part of a real estate listing video for her own property, boasting lakefront access. I reported it to her listing agent, who pulled the video the same day. Karen had to take the house off the market temporarily, and last I heard, she's still trying to offload it, but buyers keep asking, "What happened to the lakefront access?" Oh, and that fence? I added solar lights to it. At night it glows like a beacon of victory. I call it Karen's folly. I learned a hard lesson about boundaries, not just physical ones, but legal and emotional. Some people think they're entitled to whatever they want. They'll wrap it in the language of community, beautification, or what's fair. But really, it's about control. Karen tried to gift my lakefront to her family like it was a damn fruit basket. But you know what? Fences make great neighbors, especially when they come with security cameras and legal backing. And if you're ever dealing with an HOA Karen, get everything in writing. Document everything. Because the moment they think you're weak or unaware, they'll come for what's yours. But stand your ground, and they'll regret ever picking a fight.